welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Michael. Before we get started, I wanted to give a big shout out to my lovely, talented, and beautiful sister, whose birthday is today. And
what's her name?
Say happy birthday, Esther, and many more. So
Esther, and happy birthday to you. And since we talked about shout outs, I want to thank Michael Welch from University Credit Union, who's the sponsor of today's show. So we're going to behave, all right? And we want to make him very proud.
Thank you.
It's University Credit Union, available online everywhere. And they have offices in Kendall, South Miami, Coral Gables, and the medical district on 12th Avenue. So you've served about 2 years now?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And when you had run one time before?
No,
that was your first time.
Yes.
They liked you from the beginning.
They liked me.
Do they still like you?
I don't know. I hope so.
So here we are now, almost the 1 year anniversary of COVID. All right, it's pretty much. This is when we started getting.
Yes.
By the way, there's glass in between. All right, we washed our hands and we have our masks in case we need them. So this is glass here, not just an image. All right. So here it is, almost a year later. How's city government been performing during the last 12 months?
Wow. City government has been performing. We are working from home. We started working from home. Right now we're a hybrid, so people are working from home and the office. Our meetings are a hybrid, so we have meetings. You can come in person and or participate in Zoom. The evolution of government, I mean, it's remarkable. First of all, we have to take care of our citizens. We have to take care of public safety, the basics.
Yes.
And all that continued. The trash continued to be picked up, as you know, excuse me. So it continued, but it continued in another way, another form.
And we know that this is stressful, the COVID for everyone, and everything that gets done takes a little bit longer, all right? And one of the things that we're concerned about is that citizens are active, all right?
Right.
So what's happened to the citizens that want to be heard when there's hearings? How have they been communicated?
Well, there's a formal process for the Zoom. I think the process in person is still the same. You come in, you sign up. There's a 3-minute limit.
They can come in now.
They can come in and sign up and talk just like they would before. As far as on the Zoom, there is a process. It's you raise your hand, your virtual hand, and all that, and it seems to work. We've had compliments from other municipalities how smooth our Zoom meetings have been.
So when I hear the city attorney at the beginning explain it, Thomas Pepe goes,
Yes.
Raise your virtual hand. I hear that all the time, and I'm going, it sounds so funny, right? When you see that and when you hear that.
It's the post-COVID world.
Yes, and hopefully, in the first, within a while, we're going to be, forget returning to normal, but being able to have conversations with people one-on-one and up close, because I think as human beings, right, we want to have that. We want to be able to touch and feel, and except in the office, all right, and to be able to have conversations and congregate. By the way, we're going to be laying out our schedule for next year's in-person events. We're already working on that.
All right.
Yes, so looking forward to that. We're all going to be here, all right? And so it's really exciting to be part of watching, all right, us move through this process. But let's look at what's going on in South Miami as far as the stores and the properties. Every retail, a lot of retail stores across the country are suffering for a variety of reasons, all right? Not just Amazon, not just COVID, but people have changed, all right? And this certainly has accelerated things. So South Miami's always had a struggle in getting pedestrians, all right, to shop those stores. It's been a while since I've really paid attention to some of the vacancies there. But what does it look like today on Sunset and 73rd Street?
So, there's no question that South Miami, the retail especially, has suffered. The shops went into receivership. Some of the smaller places have shuttered and closed. But on the bright side, there are some reopenings. Town is coming back, from what I understand.
Yes.
The ginger and juice place.
Lena Sierra had a picture. She said, "I see a door open. Maybe that's a good sign."
No, and so there is movement there. A lot of the other restaurants have opened. I went on New Year's Eve, I drove. We had dinner in downtown, and most of the restaurants were open. The Umbrella was having an event, small event,
Yes.
So there was activity. It's slowly but surely coming back.
And you talk about the restaurants. A restaurateur loves to go in a place where all the permits are there and the equipment is in there, that they don't have to build it out. So rest assured, as we know, if there's a restaurant there, and it's empty, pretty soon somebody else is going to go in and say, let's give it a shot.
Absolutely, and the location is still great. 73rd Street is active.
Yes.
It really is. It's coming back slowly. We brought freebie, and I wanted to talk about that because that's one way of bringing people to South Miami in a safe and a way that doesn't take parking.
Why don't you, for the people that don't know what freebie is?
So freebie is a ride share that we offering in the city of South Miami for residents, for business owners, for anybody that's in the city that wants to get from point A to point B. Michael, you go to Casa Cuba almost on a daily basis. I think you should be using parking your truck here and using the freebie over to Casa Cuba.
There you go. There you go. That's a big plug. And let's talk about the Shops at Sunset, who the old owner Federated, if I have that right.
Federal Realty is a retail REIT, real estate investment trust, that
gigantic company
with gigantic properties, with gigantic problems with retail, as you mentioned. And well, South Miami, the Shops was recognized, seen as a liability on their balance sheet. So they sold that. They went into receivership. Man by the name of Alex Badilla from Midtown Development bought the property. So we're looking forward to seeing what he wants to bring forward post-COVID.
The plan for the Shops, back excluding the last couple months, took a few years for the developer to get it together, to do the drawings, and to get approval from the city, from the commissioners. Could that have been 4 years or 5 years? A long time, right? And so now, post-COVID, all right, before they were going to have a hotel and some apartments and whatever the other things were there. So you're right, it should be interesting to see what this new guy wants to do there. And we wish him lots of good luck, and we want it to work desperately, all right? So another big piece of property, we'll just refer to as the Winn-Dixie property on 73rd Street, across from my favorite dining place, Casa Cuba, all right? So can you tell us what is on the drawing boards for that? So
they've I know they went in front of our Environmental Review and Preservation Board. So they're in the approval process there. They're going along. So it's coming along, and they're coming.
It's going to be an apartment building.
Yeah,
right?
It's going to be a mixed use with a grocery store downstairs, and I think 9 stories on top of that. So
that is going to bring a lot of folks. I mean, almost, I'm going to get they're 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and probably some 3 bedroom. It can be there can be a lot of people, all right, that are going to be paying rent and buying stuff that's downstairs and across the street. Right. So it's really going to be phenomenal to see new people for the first time of consequence in downtown.
And not only that, Michael, that whole street is going to be redesigned and reimaged. So right now it's a bit awkward with parallel and with the parking. It's very, especially in front of Casa Cuba, but that's all going to be reimaged and redesigned, that street. So that whole street is going to be very, very different.
As you mentioned, I have a truck, and I parked one time about 2 years ago on a Saturday morning. I was pulling into the parking lot, and it was filled. I said, I'll go out the back. Well, the back was closed. So I was backing up, then I made a sharp turn. People were waving at me like this. And I didn't know they were waving at me. Well, I thought they were saying hello, so I waved back until I went, and the back of the truck hit a Porsche. And so, all right, so I don't park there anymore. I park on the side over there on Winn-Dixie, where I have plenty of space to be able to do it. And by the way, it's a good way to follow for guys that are driving trucks that don't know how to drive them, right, like myself.
Use the freebie.
Yes. So the Winn-Dixie property, and then is in the works. And then across the street from City Hall, the old Bank United building,
The old Bank United.
it's now level. Almost all the debris is taken away. It's astonishing when you look at Sunset Drive and you look at the improvements. You can see the medical arts building that's over there. I think it's a cancer thing.
Right.
And if I remember right, it was on the Cal Rosenbaum's property. I think, was that going to be a senior? Are you familiar with that?
That is a senior center, isn't that or is that the one next to the Bank United property?
Yeah. Anyway. So something's going to happen over there, but lots of really neat stuff is going to happen. All right. The Bank United is going to be another apartment building. Right.
Yes, I've been approved for 8 stories and mixed use 8 stories. Let me where the Petco is. On where the Petco is on US 1, Kimco, a very well thought of and well respected real estate investment trust, is going to wants to redevelop that property into a mixed use with another market in there.
You mean food?
Food.
Oh, no.
Market.
Yeah.
Food market. I don't know what kind, but they want to.
And upstairs are going to be living units.
Yeah. So that property is going to be developed.
One of the things that's about to happen in South Miami is the population is going to increase for the first time of consequence in ever, because pretty much it's landlocked in the sense the stuff that's gone up has really been more commercial. But here we're going to have lots of people that are going to be moving there, which adds vibrancy to a city, right? And we are delighted on this side of the highway to see the schools flourishing, even though they have a lot of traffic over there. And I know there's going to be a solution to that relatively soon, hopefully. And the Red Roads Commons been there for about 10 years now. And maybe with the zoning changes that are already in place, maybe there's some other things that will happen there as we get out of this COVID challenge. There was some townhouses, or maybe they're single family at this point, behind the church on Sunset Drive. Have they made any public statement about what they want recently?
Oh, if you're talking about Fellowship?
Yes.
So Fellowship, there is a property there. They did come with a preliminary design, which included single-family homes and townhouses. So much less, much more in tune with the neighborhood, I think, than their previous.
And on 80th Street and 67th Avenue by Big Cheese, on that side is the county, but on the north side of 80th Street, is that the city?
Yes.
Yes. So across the street is the city. It was the old saying. It was owned by a Baptist. It was the No-Tell Hotel. It was a residential treatment for drug, alcohol, residential. Some townhouses are going up there.
Really nice townhouse.
Yes, and so one of the great things, I can imagine you go over there to buy, and they're going to say, well, there's warehouses on the other side. They're going to go, you're right. They are. What are you going to do? That's something that's happening. And people are saying, I would rather have that and live nearby, and its price range, whatever it's going to be, than move somewhere else farther south or west. Lots of really neat changes that are going on. All right. And down the street from us here in South Miami on 62nd Avenue, Marco Drugs is going to be, they put in to get their permit. That's at about 65th Street and 62 Avenue, 600, 700 feet from here. It's 15,000 feet it's going to be a pharmacy. And when I was listening to them make their presentation about the drive-in or the drive-through, it dawned on me for the first time because of COVID that yes, why would you walk in to the store, all right, and then share with dragging your kid along with you, all right, and sit there and wait or whatever it happens to be when you do go to the drive-in, makes it work. So my hats off to the city for making that happen. I know there were some challenges.
And no, hats off to Sonia because they had the foresight to want to put and very very thoughtfully designed. So
we know, and we've been in the digital arena for many years, when you make up a photograph, it's made of these little pixels. A little dot here, a little dot here, a little dot here, a little color. And all of a sudden, when you have a lot of those, a picture forms. Well, this is the pixels that are happening downtown, all right? 62nd and US 1, Marco Drugs, now onto Madison Square. Why don't you tell us about that?
So Madison Square is on the cusp of being online. I think the store downstairs is hiring So they're going to be opening soon. It's an affordable housing complex that's been, I don't know, 40, 50 years in the making. We finally got
You
it done.
beat me to it.
We finally got it done, and it's there. So and it's right part of the 62nd Avenue, 64th Street. Right on that street, there's going to be dedicated bike lanes.
Yes, that is tremendous. I was there the other day. This new building, it's beautiful. The dedicated lanes, they're like little islands between the cars. Very, very, very good. Victor Dover, I'm sure, had some input into that.
Sure.
All right, a world-renowned urban planner. Correct me if I got it wrong, Victor, and a cyclist and a triathlete, and you know that. I remember when I used to run, I would yell to him one time, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So my hat's off to Madison Square that had been for literally decades
Yes.
in the works, all right?
Yes.
And I drove by the other day and the dollar store had some signs out front. It really, when people drive by or the people that live there can feel really good about that.
Yes.
And the little kids are, when they go, look at this, it's a beautiful store. Nearby, people paid attention to us because that's what that statement says, right? And on that's on 59th Place and 64th Street. Right across from there on the east side, there's another lot that the city owns. Is that phase 2?
Yes. That will be phase 2. So that's going to be I think a smaller building, but yeah.
It's really phenomenal. I think that it's really great. And I see off of 62nd Avenue on the west side, a few blocks from here, it looks like some of the roundabouts are redone. And it looks like it's still the same space. It looked like it didn't take away from the neighbors. Maybe it did, but it's beautiful.
No, and there were those roundabouts were built by every inch of that by law. I mean, there's no squeezing. It was done by code.
It is, besides functional, all right, it's beautiful. And when you pay attention to the details, people see it, all right? And you go, look at that, it's good. And then after a while, we get used to what to do. After you go there 30 times, you go, okay, I get it, what we need to do. And let's talk about the Gray Ghosts, all right, football team,
okay.
All right? I don't know if they had a season this year, but maybe next year,
right?
All right, next fall, maybe.
Yeah, we're still supporting all our youth initiatives. Obviously, with COVID, it's affected. We do follow county guidelines, so they tell us how and where and when these we can have gatherings and sporting events and that kind of thing.
So right next to Murray Park, do I have it right?
That's the Murray Aquatic Center. That's where the pool is.
There's a pool there, and then you have the gym that's over there.
Right.
And on that campus is the Children's Center.
Yes.
All right. Dr. Tina Carroll Scott has been there for years.
Yes.
My hat's off to her. She is my hero.
Yes,
she doesn't know that, but I'm telling her.
She's everybody's hero.
And it's just incredible, the commitment that she made to serving. And she works at another pediatric firm, and she says she wants to do that. And I think that Wayne helped that happen,
yes,
and
absolutely.
convince her to move over. And I see her on Facebook all the time, and so my hat's off to her on doing that. So tell us some other things that are going on at South Miami.
Well, one thing that, speaking of Baptist, my understanding is they're going to come forward with a proposal on 62nd and Sunset for a physical therapy rehab, long-term rehab.
On this corner?
62nd, right? Long-term rehab for people with, stroke victims, accidents, 2-3 week rehab that take, I think it's 80 rooms. That's what I heard. Nothing formal has been proposed yet, but
historically, that there would be acute medical, the hospital, and they would send them to somebody else. All right.
Right. This will be run by some other company, my understanding is, but Baptist would maintain ownership of it.
I'd say the patient will say, where should I go? Right over there.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll see. We'll have more details about that. And another one, Michael, that I like to talk about that I know is near and dear to your heart, the inspection station. So we did put out a bid for design on a new police station. So there's
Out of all the stuff, that's the one.
and so we're going to do something, and we're looking at that inspection station for that site.
You know, I'm getting goosebumps, Lou. Keep it up.
So we put a bid for design. Of course, funding and all that will we'll follow. Will be a challenge, but we're gonna we're in the process of doing that. So.
So I hear that there's a big piece of property that looks like it's going to be sold over there. I can't tell you which one, all right, but I think it's going to happen pretty soon. So I'm really happy to see changes, and that's what COVID has done. It's forced us to look at things, and as you pointed out earlier, we started pushing this type of venue. Actually, we started in December, January, but in March we started pushing it really hard. So we're able to reach a lot of people, and again, we're pleased to say that we're going to start a leadership series at Casa Cuba, all right? And we're laying out our first month, all right? We're going to decide next couple of weeks when we're going to start that and watch that progress and be able to connect people on the level that they are comfortable with, all right? Because we realize that we are coming out of this and we managed to live through it. And I had my first shot the other day. As I was waiting, I started crying like a baby because you realize the heaviness of this pressure of family and business. And are you going to get sick and are you going to die? All right. One of my friends sends me a text who had COVID. Says, Michael, this is a disease of loneliness, all right, and of fear and of hell. You go in the hospital, you may stay there, never see your family again. And if you're at home, that you hope that your caregiver doesn't get it. So, he is getting better. And with the vaccine, the Baptist, you mentioned Baptist, they made their first announcement. They're going to have 12,000 shots. There are 477,000 people over the age of 65. I barely made it into that group, all right? But it's going to be pretty quickly at this point, meaning 1 to 5 months, and it's going to be everywhere, all right?
There will be a glut of vaccines, I think.
Yeah. Time to own those pharmaceutical stocks. Get out soon, though.
And really, what a great country we live in to fast track this.
Yes.
This started. This process began with George W. Bush. Obama continued it, and Trump, and they brought forward the vaccine.
Well, we are delighted with that we are all getting better, right?
Yes.
And we should count our blessings. And it's it is there's the happiness that people are feeling now. I can see it. We talked to a lot of people. It's like this cautious optimism. Let's continue talking about South Miami and how we can look to with optimism.
So, there's South Miami Gardens across the street. They have a plan, and it came forward. That's
county property.
That's county property. They came to the city. City had comments. They went back, and we'll see what happens. But that's moving forward, right across the street from here.
So, and how many units are there now? It's like 100-ish units.
Yeah, I don't have the numbers. I don't. But yes, it's going to be.
So James McCants, about 5 years ago, maybe 10 at this point, says, "Come on, we're going to go out and we're going to give out gifts at Christmas time to people that were there." And so he gets me in a car with his son-in-law and says, "Miller, I want you to do a story on him." I said, "Okay, all right, you got me." But James, we went to one of the houses, and these kids answered the door, shorts, no shoes, no shirts, and afros like this. He picks up the phone and he calls somebody, I forget his name, that was doing haircuts. You got to get these kids a haircut today. And when I saw what James did, which is part of the city, part of the CRA, to be able to reach out and to act immediately, all right, that it was really a thrill to be able to see that. Those units over there are 45 or 50 years old, right? And they're going to come down and new things are going to go up there.
So that's another very positive thing that's happening. We were approved so far $3 million for the CARES Act. The city has been approved. So that's going to be a big help to us going forward.
The city had to apply for that.
Yes.
And you have a grant. Was it a grant or what? How does it?
I'm not sure how the CARES Act works as far as the city goes, but yes, we did apply. We've applied, and we keep applying for everything that we can. So I know we've been approved for over $3 million. We've refinanced outstanding debt. We have a pedestrian bridge design. that's underway. So we
Where's that going to
funded
be? More or less.
Where where that awkward, I think that's 70, no, that's 70, 50. Where in front of the tire place,
Tire Kingdom.
Kingdom Tire.
It's called
Tire Kingdom.
it's called the COVID fog. Don't
The
worry about it.
COVID.
It'll go away.
But that's where hopefully that will land on that, and then the other side.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
All
So
this
hopefully
neat
that'll-
stuff.
Yeah.
And by the way, for those folks that haven't been out and about, the Metro Rail station, all right, worked all the way. The folks there, hard driving people, worked all the way through COVID, and it's 3 or 4 stories above where it was, and those are mostly apartments.
Yeah.
Right. And
Student housing.
that's for students. So it
Yeah.
has that. Is that like one kitchen in the middle? And
I don't know the design.
I'm gonna go. I'm
and
gonna get one of those.
Yeah,
one day.
right. And then there, I know there'll be offices there as well.
Yes.
So that's going to bring a lot of some foot traffic to, especially this side of the highway.
So, and let's look at Progress Lane, Commerce Lane over there. It's, it's, I don't want to say it's underdeveloped. It's a lot of small repair shops for cars, and it's an essential part. We get our cars fixed over there, and I'm thinking, if we don't get them there, where are we going to go? Oh my goodness! In the falls, maybe here. We drop off the cars and we walk back, and I go, it's wonderful. So what's going to happen over there?
So everybody loves it and hates it at the same time, right? Nobody likes to go drive and see it. But
when your car's working.
but when your car's working, but when your car's not working, that's when you want it. Wow. So our friend Wayne Bracken has some property there and they're looking to open a beer garden type of
That's public information, right?
and well,
It is now.
It is now.
Wayne, it wasn't me. I didn't say
Hey.
a word.
So so they're looking into doing something there, which I think would really being the first really activate.
When you can get into the entertainment arena and when people feel comfortable and they eat and they have some beers, I don't drink or smoke or anything, but I sure eat. All right. And Bill and Ted's was around there
Right.
for 50 years. I'd go there and you'd see all these very well-to-do people sitting at this old place over there eating those hamburgers. I can imagine back in the 60s, the old guy with the cigarette hanging down, the ashes falling in. But you know what? That is a great place to draw people in to sort of mitigate the other areas that are within that, but that will force the other people to look at their properties and fix it up. It's just the way that works.
Exactly. And if one success breeds success, and once one business like that thrives.
Okay, so let's look on 62nd Avenue. You have Marco Drugs going in a few blocks over. We have Madison Square. We have
Miami Gardens.
South Miami Gardens. We have
Baptist.
When do you think are they asking now? Is that what they?
Well, I think they've approached the city.
Okay.
I don't know. They'll have to come in front of us for approval, but it's
Okay. And then on the other side of US 1, you have the Petco supermarket.
Petco's
shopping
coming
center.
up. There's the park is a little bit. Fuchs Park is $500,000 in improvements. We have approved the $500,000 improvements there, and so it's really going to come a lot. Going to change.
And one of the things we recognized back in the heyday of South Miami, maybe 10 years ago, I remember taking some people from Palmetto Bay. So you have to come up and experience South Miami because Palmetto Bay really doesn't have a center. All right. The closest it got was at Miller's Ale House, no relations. That's where people would sort of hang out. And that sort of got old and they sort of went away. But South Miami has found a very good balance, it looks like, bringing in new housing, all right, in several places, all right, three locations pending, maybe 4. And since we brought up about the police station, so the current police station is on City Hall property.
Mhm.
It's an old building.
Mhm.
Nothing's wrong with being old, and one day we'll both recognize that. So about 6 months ago, the city officially cut off any conversations with a proposed redevelopment of City Hall.
The private-public partnership, yes.
So in a couple of years, when the police station maybe won't be there anymore, what are the plans with that facility?
Well, we have no plan. First of all, we have to get a police station. It's a process. So there are no set plans, but obviously, there would be that would be the first step, is to house our police
So
station.
it's really exciting, especially as this COVID fog sort of goes away and goes up, and the citizens who used to be very active before, they've had other things on their mind, certainly in the last year. All right, what we hope that happens is that in 3 months or 6 months, that the citizenry across the county, throughout the country, gets more involved and goes and stares at the commissioners right in their faces and gives them a load of grief, right, and just let them know. I do want to point out that the county, in all their wisdom, wanted to reduce the transparency on zoning changes. That included reducing the area notification from a half mile to 500 feet. 500 feet.
No.
That 500 feet. And then they also wanted to eliminate the requirement to have a sign posted. I go, a developer wrote that. Who else would do that? So our argument to the county commission was, you got to have a wider notification, all right? And you have to have the signs there. I live in horse country. 500 feet, we live on, that's 2 houses, 3 houses where we are, all right? And over here, it's only 4 or 5 houses. So I hope that the city continues being very transparent. And so everything you guys doing, that it's open for everybody to take a look at.
Absolutely. And I think with our current staff, you're going to find very, very transparent, doing business with them, very transparent. One thing before I wanted to mention South Miami as being the hottest single family neighborhood.
I saw that. I almost fell out of my britches.
Right here, hottest family, single family neighborhood. Millennials are moving to South Miami, folks. Millennials. It's a testament to the character of our neighborhoods.
And the houses that are right behind our office on the, there's a house that's 200 feet from here. I think it's for sale for $800,000.
Yeah. Michael, what that tells you is people want to live in South
Yes.
Miami. People really want to live in South Miami. Millennials want to live in South Miami. It's exactly what the demographics we want.
As reluctant as I am to say it, but proud to say that the government and city officials at this point are doing a wonderful job, all right? And I don't know if it's COVID that sort of got away a lot of stuff, but it's blending and it's moving forward, and you're recognizing the neighbors and the things that they want and finding that balance, all right?
Let me say, we're both, I think, good and lucky. There's a luck. We're in a great location. We have a train station. We have some great properties. We're US 1. We're in the epicenter of Miami-Dade County, and I think we have a bunch of good, concerned citizens that keep people like me in line.
Okay, we're going to wrap up in just 1 minute, Lou. But before we wrap up, I'd like you to look into the camera over there, and I want you, this one right over here, and I'd like you to talk to some young person who's considering going into government or into politics.
It's an honor to serve. It's an honor to family, faith, and service. And this has been a big honor to last couple of years to be a part of South Miami and to represent the citizens. So thank you. I'm grateful to do it. And I'll continue working hard for South Miami and for our community.
Great. And also we have George Gonzalez Hello there. So let's look at, Tommy, can you put it back? All right. George Gonzalez wants to know, is it going to be an art show next year?
I hope so. I certainly hope so. And we're hoping to get the Porsche, hopefully with Commissioner Lehman, and working with Commissioner Lehman, we can get the Porsche people here.
Yes, that's neat. And I know about Porsches. I
Yes,
found one on my bumper.
Yeah.
George says, look at, he's complimenting us, it looks like.
Thank
He wants to know, are we going to be able to put in any electric car chargers as more and more people go to cars?
Oh, I think so. I think that's just a trend all over the country. But I will say, use freebie. That's one thing is electric vehicles are here to stay. Use them. They're safe, they're reliable, and they're quick, and they're green.
Palmetto Bay has one. I'm not
Coral
sure.
Gables,
And Cutler Bay. All right.
Holmes,
Folks, that's Tommy, produces our show back there.
West Miami has it.
And he has his own microphone. When are you doing your show?
Today at noon.
Today at noon. All right.
And I'm working with Robert tonight.
Okay, and he's doing a sports show with Brett Romberg,
All
former
right.
University of Miami All-Star, and also NFL player for 9 years. So we're pleased to have them on. And Louis Gill, City of South
Pleasure.
Miami Commissioner, thank you for being
Thank
here,
you.
and the best to you and your family. Lots of good health and happiness,
Thank you.
folks. Thanks for joining us today. Again, this is Live with Miami's Community.